They've got to do what they can to hold on if they wish to take this game against Vici Gaming, of course, in this best-of-1 elimination match. And I mean, Vici Gaming, just with the fact that this Luna and SF are getting so stacked, it's looking a bit hard now for the side of Na'Vi to go up against this, because it's really anti-mate. It's Havor's doing all the damage. As you said, Dendi didn't really go for that late build.
Wow, I cannot believe Na'Vi have 3 smokes available. That is very unusual in high-level Dota 50 minutes in. They have stocked them up in their shop. Vici Gaming, oh, it might just be this play bug. It looks like Vici has 3 as well. I think they've bought quite a lot of them. Or maybe both teams. Nah, there's no way. They've used quite a bit of smokes. It might just be. I would be surprised. Who knows? I'm getting skeptical because both teams have 3. That is. That would be ridiculous. There we go. Okay, it works for me now. I don't know how that happened. Vici have none in stock, and Na'Vi have 3.
Still got 3 of it. I mean, Vici Gaming.
No, they also have 6. Wait, what is going on here? Alright, this is glitchy. Alright, don't trust me on anything. They also have the same cooldown in their shops and whatnot. Teams have smokes. Great. Vici at least have 1 in the shaker. It's
Talking
just
about
been used.
Smokes in Vici Gaming.
Yeah.
They're going to use one right now.
This is
really weird.
I
Up the back of it,
this.
F1 with the haste screen here. Heading straight towards the mid lane.
Okay.
Everyone's going down the mid here. Vici, this could be it. This could be the G. If they can find themselves winning this team fight, it's going to be very hard for Na'Vi to stay in this one. Coming in, smoked up. We've got to be careful up on Dendi. He's got to be careful. F5 comes out. F5 moving forward. Oh. With a blink back from Dendi just in time. And now they know that Vici Gaming are there.
Aggressive weave. Vici are definitely going to respect this. This is the. They do not want to engage into the base under these terms, but they could also just wait. Wait for the next first shot. They know Na'Vi do not have the Aegis right now. Oh. The chance that Na'Vi will be able to breach high ground now without an Aegis is very low.
Vici Gaming is back up to the top lane. Was being pressured in by Havor's to Snaker.
On the other hand, though, should they be successful in killing Havor's, the game's over. So, yeah. There's no buyback for a good, what's that, 3.5 minutes?
3 minutes or so? Yeah, I agree that, yeah. It's just under 4 minutes still on the cooldown of Havor's buyback. So. Still a fair few minutes, but Na'Vi are in a very, very dangerous position. Especially with the way that they're playing, in the sense that we do see Havor's and Snaker regularly go to that top lane on their own to push it back out. If Vici Gaming can kind of capitalize on that overextension and catch him out, it's going to look very, very rocky for Na'Vi. But 50 minutes into the game, Na'Vi certainly still holding themselves in this one. And Vici Gaming not yet able to push the game over the edge.
Super with his newly purchased Daedalus is critting for about 1,000. With the Luna Aura. I believe there's no Wolf involved right now. How did lose the Wolf in the base push earlier. He might want to try to get a new one. It does make a pretty big difference. There actually is one in their jungle that they can grab right now. But, oh well, he has Satanic, so never mind. He can't do that anymore.
At this point in the game, obviously, as important as this game is, both teams, they're playing very careful now. You can just feel it. We're not really seeing Vici go for any full-on high ground pushes at the moment. They're kind of waiting out to see if Na'Vi overextend, come out of the base themselves, and they're starting to make movements out. And as you said, yeah, Roche back up in a minute. That's going to be the point where we maybe see a bit more action come out from both sides.
So here's the problem. Na'Vi don't really have a great carrier for this Aegis because Frost needs all his item slots. Vici do have one. It's really great in the Shadow Fiend right now. It's also good on the Luna. Both of them have a TP scroll. They could both get just Boots of Travel and grab it. That's just not as impactful a hero on Na'Vi, but at the same time, they just can't let Vici Gaming get it, I think. It's more than likely going to be the end of the game if Powell or Super gets an Aegis and they just 5-man down mid.
Again?
Especially How. If he just frontlines these tier 4s, the bouncing blades will very quickly bring them down.
I mean, that is the thing. If Na'Vi lose one team fight, the pushing power of Vici is just going to be too much, and the base is going to be destroyed. You've got an Aghanims now on Rubik. And there's a lot of very tasty skills to steal with it. Obviously, the Weave's nice. The Laguna Blade as well from Dendi is going to be very, very effective if Rubik's able to get his hands on it in these fights. Of course, F1, very renowned Rubik player. I'm sure we'll see him get the big steals off when it counts. Indeed, Roshan's up. We'll see who's going to get the first sniff of it and head themselves in. Double damage as well. Wow. Again, it's that rune. Whoever finds himself here. Vici Gaming.
You give this to Shadow Fiend, he's going to make really quick work of it. He already has the Daedalus. His crits are going to be extremely high. Luna Aura.
They're still straight
cautious. If they knew this, they could probably just snipe it right now. Like, the time it would take Na'Vi to cross over, they would lose the rush. They're playing it safe. Now this ward they have in the middle lane is going to spot Faust and Soneko. But there is, of course, always the risk of a relocate to get them in position. And they just don't know where Dendi is right now. They don't know where Monica is anymore.
He's in the trees.
Yep. Oh, that's new. He's been hanging out a lot with Forest this game.
Okay, they're going to go for Roche. And as you said, still with that duration of the double damage.
1350 crits.
And they're going to make such short work of it here. And I don't think there's any way that Na'Vi can stop it. Already down to half health. We're starting to see, well, Daz will make a movement towards it, but Horst still in the mid lane with Soneko. No chance to cancel this one. Vici are going to find Roche. They get the Aegis, they get themselves the cheese here. And Artstar, that's jumped up by the Fisher. In a lot of trouble as Vici converge onto him. We'll get the weave out. Shallowgrave isn't going to save him, though. And they're going to get the gem here as well. So big pick off there for Vici Gaming. Roshan, Aegis,
and they steal
cheese,
weave.
and gem.
They got the absolute most possible out of that situation. That could not have gone any better for them for what they were given. This weave is such a big deal. Like this spell, when it comes to high ground pushing, remember he has Aghanim, Scepter, and Rubik. So this weave actually is going to provide them with, at its peak, 36 armor for the entire team for that last second. They're going to precast it.
It's such a hard defense for Na'Vi. Vici Gaming coming down the mid lane. Hex onto Funning. The fortification already coming out. Shallowgrave just in time. Dendi is there. And Force is backed up as well. He's ready for the defense with Soneko tethering him up. Buyback for Funny jumping in straight to FY. The Shallowgrave stolen. FY's still alive. And now he's going to contribute. Gets himself out. Steals the blink. FY's going to live. The snowball will go out to him. It does finally go down now. Dendi with the Laguna Blade onto Super. Bring him low. Artstar. He's almost certainly going to die. How finds the kill? They've found two. Looking for Dendi. They've lost too many. Artstar's something in the base. The base is going down here. Na'Vi going to do something. And Force coming out looking for Hammer. Oh, Echo's happening for Force. Hexed up. Force. He's going to go down. He's got the buyback here. He's looking for the Dementor. Oh, Megavoid. How down. Super. Falls as well. It's only outside down to line. Will blink away, but Force. He's chasing this one with Funny as well. We're on punch. They need a bash. They need a bash. They'll get it. Artstar is down. Double kill from Force. The base is defended.
And they're just spamming out buybacks, trying to end the game right now. They fought out 4 heroes, knowing that Dendi has no buyback. There's no buyback on Soneko. There's no buyback on anyone anymore.
It's only the Force and Funning left alive here on the side of Na'Vi. 20 seconds and Alstar's going to be back. I don't know.
Is Force considering this? He could buy Boots of Travel and look for this bottom. But he just bought something. He just bought a Moon Shard.
He can't afford it.
He can't afford it.
Will the Moon Shards do it for him? Eats it up.
This is effectively a 5-on-3 for the
Pro. Looking for Super, straight in onto the SF. The Missile Blade drop. Can they kill him? Super getting low. It's down. They fought Super. Now Sonic Wimbledon Force gets hexed up though. They might lose him, but Force going to keep him alive. Also, no, he Shallowgraves himself. It's over. Vici Gaming take the game. Oh my goodness. Na'Vi are out. Vici Gaming move forward. What an end to the game. They gave it their all, Na'Vi, but at the end of the day, too many mistakes. Vici Gaming, the superior fight. And as farmed as Horst was, it wasn't enough to stand up against both the SF and the Luna of VG.
What an absolutely crazy ending to that game. I cannot believe how well Na'Vi actually ended up holding that, but they just run out of heroes in the end.
Oh, there's so much to talk about that game, so we're going to head over to the analysts to see exactly what they want to talk about. But what a performance from VG. What a performance.
Well, the congratulations are to VG. Na'Vi do leave the arena at the very first attempt. What a sad way to see the former champions go out of the tournament, but my word, hearts were in our hands at the end of that game. It was almost the impossible Na'Vi story yet again right at the end of the match, Malini.
Wow.
Yeah, what do you say?
What do you say?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, the most important thing I think about that game is we got to see both teams play like the champions they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a heck of a show. It was, you know, as much as we've seen in the group stages in this tournament already, that was the game of the tournament for me, just in terms of the emotional investment that I had in that game. And, you know, I know there are a whole lot of people out there. Na'Vi is the brand in Dota 2. They're the winningest team in terms of event wins all time. And, you know, they're part of the reason for me that I started playing Dota. And I think there are a lot of people out there in the world that can say that. So, you know, I have a heavy heart right now, but I think it's only it's only appropriate that we say for Dendy what we say for the king of Dota 2, what they used to say for the king of rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, Dendy has left the building.
Yeah.
What a game. It was, for me, a combination of heavy fight, CAS Dota, but at the same time also strategy coming in from VG Gaming. I actually think VG Gaming kind of beat Navi at their own game. At least that's what it felt like. Fighting from the very start, making sure super aggressive, didn't give anybody a time to farm and actually catch up until Suneko, of course, reached level 6, and he made sure that there was some space for Havos's anti-mage, but overall, I think VG Gaming just played that really well.
And welcome to the desk, by the way,
you.
Shiva, because, it's such a crazy end to that match. We didn't even have time to reintroduce Alan and Shiva for the first time. It's great to have you back on here.
Thank you.
We do have the end of the game, and I think it's probably a fitting way to close out the game with the final shots of Navi's TI5. It isn't the TI5 that either they or their fans would want, and it ends up with a very small but important mistake.
This is the first time I think I've seen Navi buckle under pressure. First with the failed relocate by Suneko to save anti-mage, and then Havos is under pressure, he gets sheeped up, and then art style shallow graves himself.
Poor Artstyle, by the way. He ended 0-7-0 in that match.
Yeah.
Either way, they would have lost this one.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah, it becomes almost incidental in a way, but
honestly, they played great just to extend it.
Yeah, but it's a good summary of why they didn't go any further in this tournament at the end of that match. It's sort of like well, there's the signpost for it, I suppose. I was quite mean to them before the game and said that, they've been surprisingly bad. There's no escaping the fact that they were the champions. You've said they're the pin-up poster boys of Dota 2. And they're going home in the bottom 4. You can't escape that.
Right. No, there's no getting around that. I mean, there are a lot of fans today, a lot of Dota 2 fans that are very disappointed. I mean, you could hear that arena. You could hear that crowd getting behind Navi, and there's a reason for that. And I really do believe that Navi will still be a presence in this scene for as long as there is Dota 2. And I thought Sin did a great job in that match framing the action, talking about the window that Navi had, and I thought they made some great plays to extend that window. I thought there were some insane relocate plays to take that bottom racks to really maximize Navi's window in that game. But at the end of the day, VG Gaming rolled the dice and drafted a super greedy lineup. And Navi just wasn't able to punish them enough. At the end of the game, when you have a Shadow Fiend, when you have a How Luna, when you have a Queen of Ice, Queen of Pain that have all been farming, you're not going to beat that in the late game. And I think Seb was dead on point.
Yeah. Seb, your final thoughts on the game as we get ready to move on to Game 3?
To me, it felt like they had no game plan, because obviously the game plan early on is dodge fights, get the anti-mage to farm. You have a lineup where you have, with Dazzle Tusk, those heroes, they don't do damage. They just help someone to actually do better in the team fights, and that someone was the anti-mage, because Lina's going to use the ulti, and that's pretty much it, at least for the first opening. And that anti-mage, he had a window at some point. I don't really like the way he itemized, but that's personal. But they wanted a super battle-oriented anti-mage, that goes for MKB when they get the butterflies, goes for the basher. And there was this very moment where he got caught, and Suneko was behind him, and he could relocate him. And that was actually the play, I guess, because Kovos was farming aggressively, but that's what he needed to do the whole game, right? That's how they got a Rax. Yeah. And then he did not relocate him for a reason or another. I don't know what happened. And then he was on CD buyback when he was supposed to be aggressive, and he couldn't. And that's, to me, that was the turning point of the game, because later on in the game, it was harder for him to get anything done, honestly. Yeah. But that was the one they could have won it.
We've spoken a lot about Navi, but Ben, credit to VG as well. They played better than they've played so far at TI5. Is this maybe a sign of things to come?
Yeah, I think they were actually very prepared for the way Navi played. Like Dendy